It is November, or as some people know it, it is Movember. My wife likes it when I shave. She thinks I'm prickly if I don't shave.
But let's be honest, she's right, okay? She's right.
So instead of growing a mustache to celebrate, I'm going to make this video and talk about a men's health issue that I have dealt with my entire life: erectile self-esteem and body image. It's something that I've really wrestled with on and off since I was a kid. Growing up, I was a goofy looking kid, as some of you know, and I thought I was hideous. I thought I was ugly. I thought I was too skinny, too small, and it was because of those things that I wasn't popular. People didn't want to date me. Nobody liked me. And I looked at the way my life went and I felt like, yeah, you know what? Like, I'm not that popular. I don't have a girlfriend. It doesn't seem like any girls like me. It must be true. All those things I say about myself, they must be true. And that must be why all this stuff is happening. I'm not saying that my observations were even correct. I'm just saying that Ocean doesn't like negative self-talk. So even now that I'm older, I'm 27, 28 now, and I'm married and I should be, past all these things. Sometimes I still feel inside like that little 15-year-old kid who's too skinny, too small, not good enough. And I have this feeling that there are a lot of guys my age who are in the same boat as me. Society tells guys my age that they need to go to the gym and they need to post progress pictures, they need to post pictures in cool clothes, and they need to always look great and always be attractive, and they always have to be like 10 out of 10, and if they're not, then there's something wrong with them. So you look on social media and you see this type of stuff, you see these type of people, and if you're like me and you're not like that, you look at it and you go, wow, I guess I really am inferior. That may not be your experience, but a lot of the times that's mine. And it's sad because, like I said, I'm not a child anymore. I'm an adult. I'm married. But I still have this inferiority that I feel sometimes. I'm like, man, I don't look good enough. I'm too small. I'm inferior to these other guys just because, they're more attractive. They're more conventionally good looking. They look better in their cool clothes than I do. And it's that same negative self-talk that I've had pretty much my whole life. And maybe that is something you can relate to. So I started going to the gym. I started working out. I've been working out pretty consistently for the last maybe 2 or 3 years. But even that didn't help. I still felt very inferior because I would be at the gym, I'd be lifting, but I'd see pictures of my friends or other people, they'd be lifting more weight, they'd have bigger muscles, they'd be in the gym with like their sleeveless shirts and their short shorts, like showing off all their big muscles, and I'd look at myself and I'd say, man, I really have a lot of catching up to do. I'm really behind the curve on all these guys. Like I'm so much smaller than them, I'm so much skinnier, I'm not measuring up. So the gym, even though it was supposed to be a positive thing, it became another reason for me to feel inferior. Until very recently, when my wife told me something that really changed the way I look at this. My wife told me, she said, Jerome, whether you go to the gym or not, I like your body. I like you. And I said, well, wouldn't you like me more if I was more muscular? And my wife looked at me like I had said something really dumb. And she said, Jerome, I like you.
Wow.
Her point was that it didn't matter to her about the size of my muscles. She was attracted to me as a person, not as a collection of physical attributes. And it was like a wake-up call of like, I'm going to the gym and I'm working out hoping that I'll become more attractive and my wife will like me more. But my wife is telling me, she says, I like you because of who you are, not because of how you look. So now when I go to the gym, I'm not as concerned about like, oh, I have to get these big muscles and I have to do all these things, because I'm like, my wife already likes me. So in her eyes, I'm already good. I'm not trying to catch up to anybody. Now I'm just trying to improve on the good that my wife already says I am. And if you're watching this and you're like, well, I don't have a wife, I don't have a girlfriend, like, that's okay, because this concept of value being based on who you are, not so much how you look, that's a biblical concept. God explicitly states that he doesn't look at the outside, he looks at the inside. God explicitly states that even when we were imperfect, he was still willing to trade his perfection for our imperfection. He said, your imperfect existence is more valuable to me than my own existence. I'll trade. I'm willing to die so that you can live. Ocean is not willing to wait for me to finish this. So this month and moving forward, hopefully, if you're someone like me, particularly if you're a guy like me who's struggled with mental health and self-image and things like that, give yourself some credit, cut yourself some slack, because the way you see yourself is not the way that your loved ones see you, and it's certainly not the way that God sees you. There's no need to feel inferior. Sure, you may not look like those people on social media, you may not look like your friends, but people like you anyway. And even if you sit there and say, nobody likes me, God loves you enough to trade his life for yours, even though you are the way that you are. That's the thought I've been wrestling with and trying to comfort myself with the last few weeks, and I hope it will help you feel a little bit better about yourself too. Thank you so much for watching. This is something I've really been wanting to talk about for a while, so I hope it was something beneficial for you. Be safe, and I will see you again very soon. Goodbye.